Dustin May now available for questions. First question is from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dustin, nice job tonight. A career high for you in strikeouts. What do you take away from this outing, your third of the season?
For me going forward is just pounding the zone, just getting my balls more over the plate and allowing the hitters to make mistakes. I mean, for me tonight, I was locating fastball both sides of the plate. Cutter was working.
99-mile-an-hour two-seamer to Machado. You made him look silly. You've had everybody kind of looking at that pitch. When you're able to execute something like that just leaves the hitter guessing, what goes through your mind?
For me going in the game, I knew that I needed to get it in on him. I just saw success with it earlier last year. So for me doing that and seeing where he was at with that, it was just gave me more confidence going in there again and allowing it for later in the game.
When you give up the first run and then you get out of the inning, you're screaming into your mitt. What are you saying to yourself in those emotional moments?
For me personally, I just need to execute pitches better in my head, and that's kind of what I'm saying in my glove in a nicer put way. It was just I was frustrated, and I just put it out there to myself that I needed to be better.
In a pitching matchup like this, where you're going up against another young arm but has some fiery stuff, how much confidence do you put in yourself, and how much do you enjoy those types of matchups when you're going up against a guy that has good stuff as well?
No, it's always fun to go up against a pitcher that's doing well. I mean, it gives me a competition because I go out there trying to outdo the other pitcher every time. That's kind of my goal, is to just make the other pitcher look worse than I do. I felt like tonight it was a pretty even matchup. We both went out and we threw really well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dustin. When you talk about commanding the strike zone and being able to put the ball over the plate, was that, in your mind, the biggest reason why you're able to go a little bit deeper into tonight's game?
Yeah, and there was a little more swing and miss tonight because I was putting the ball kind of where I wanted it. So it just allowed me to go deeper in the game with the swing and miss and being able to put balls on both sides of the plate. It definitely helped, and I mean the defense was phenomenal behind me tonight too. So that's always a plus as well.
Was there a more concerted effort to use the cutter either a little bit more and a little bit maybe a different way than you did the first 2 times out?
No, there was no thought process. I mean, it was just better tonight. Everything was playing up, and cutter was coming out of the hand really well. So, I mean, it just played better.
How much are you getting to or enjoying the days between starts where you get to, hang out with the other guys in the rotation when you guys are sitting around, different parts of the park? I mean, how beneficial is that to, one, be able to, learn from those guys and also just spend time around them?
No, hanging out with Strip and Kirsch and Bueller and all the guys, it's really awesome to just be around and just to kind of pick their brain during the games, is just kind of see what their thought processes are. And I mean, it's fun to just talk. I mean, just talk about our normal lives, get to know each other a little more. I mean, we're out in the open, not really doing a whole lot. So it's kind of different being out in the stands where everybody's far apart and you're not in the dugout and everybody's pushed together. So you kind of get into like deeper conversations because you're sitting next to people for a while. So it's nice and I enjoy it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks.
Next question is from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead, Kerry.
Dustin, I'm sure the goal is consistency. So how close do you feel to achieving that consistency?
No, I mean, for me tonight, it was pretty good. I mean, like I said earlier, I was commanding both sides of the plate very well, and my cutter was working. Curveball was back foot. I mean, the one that I missed was a mistake, and he hit it pretty far. But I mean, other than that, I felt like tonight I took a big step forward, and I just need to keep taking steps off of that and locating pitches.
But on a greater sense, do you feel like that there's like consistency from start to start? Do you feel closer to achieving that?
No, for sure. I mean, the more starts you go out and the more reps you get, the more comfortable you get. So for sure, consistency comes with the process, and the more process is the more consistency.
And how are you able to create so much movement with your two-seamer?
Honestly, I just throw it, and that's how it comes out of my hand. I mean, I grip it and rip it. That's kind of my thought process with every pitch, is I just let the grip do the work.
Thanks, Dustin.
Got a question from Kyle Glaser. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Dustin. All your stuff is up about 2 to 3 miles an hour from last year. You're throwing strikes more efficiently. Really, everything has improved. What did you work on to get to this point where you're both throwing harder and throwing strikes more consistently?
For me personally, I worked out a lot in the weight room and put about 20 pounds on. So that was probably my biggest things that was this off season, was just putting weight on and getting a little stronger. So I feel like it's definitely helped for sure.
Do you feel the ball, coming out of your hand, and do you feel like you're able to hold your stuff a little bit longer?
No, I mean, I feel the same as I did last year. It's just like there's more strength behind the pitch, so it's just coming out a little better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. No way. Steve Roberts now available. First questions from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dave, with the way that things started offensively against Lamette, did you have any confidence that the result of this game was going to end up where it did?
Yeah, I did. And the thing is, credit to Lamette. He, no-hit baseball through 5 and really had his way with us. Weren't really getting good swings off, and the punch. And our guy, equaled him, but made a couple mistakes and hit a couple homers. But it was good to see us really get to him. And then that Seager at bat was huge. I think we had 6 free bases tonight and just didn't really, string a bunch of hits together, but we had some traffic and we got the hits when we needed to. And a little late insurance from AJ was also big.
How valuable was and clutch that Seager at bat in terms of working the count and making the pitcher work, but also the base running on Belly's part, taking advantage of the defensive blunder?
Yeah, no, and I think all the way around, Corey, when there's an open base, you don't know if they're going to pitch to you or not. He's towards the end, but hit a good pitcher's pitch and wrote it out. And, Cody going on the pitch on contact and to go hard to give Dino a chance. And it was a great aggressive send by Dino. And Cody's off foot speed was a big run for us.
Dustin May makes his 3rd start of the season after not even thinking he was going to make a start this early on in the year. Career high in strikeouts for him. What did you notice in his third outing?
It was really good. Everything was working, and I really loved tonight the way he changed eye levels. I think a lot of times he works at the bottom of the zone, which is good, but I thought that the cutter to the lefty, even there was a punch to Pham, maybe it was a lane change. It was kind of at the belt, right below the belt, and I liked the high-low a little bit. So I thought he was really good, held his stuff. And even after that 5th inning, there was a long 30-minute, top half of that inning. For him to come out, get behind the count to that first hitter, but come back and get him, that was big. So for him to get through 6 innings and punch the guys he did, very, very positive.
How disgusting was that 99-mile-an-hour 2-seamer to Machado?
That was I couldn't imagine a better pitch as far as, on the filth meter. It was, started middle in, and I think it ended up 6-8 inches in, and that just speaks to the depth and then the run. And, now you're talking about 99 miles an hour, so it made a really, really good hitter look pretty bad.
Yeah, Dustin just said, grip it and rip it. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Next question from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, is this the best Corey Seager's looked to you over like a long stretch? And do you, what he's doing, do you attribute that to anything else besides just staying healthy?
I think a couple things. I think health is certainly number one. I think experience is another factor. I've seen him hot before, but I think that this sample and how he's going about it is different. And I say that because it's not just the ambush first pitch, it's running counts, hitting all pitches, all quadrants. He always has a really good 2-strike approach and just sees the ball well out of hand. But I just think his at-bats for me have just been considerably better overall.
And you mentioned AJ. How impressive is it that, all the stuff going on, this guy's life over the last, couple months, and he's producing the way he's producing for you guys so far?
It's just, that's part of, an organization. You commit to a player and give him a deal for 4 years, and you got to bet on, the skill set and also the makeup. And so AJ's obviously had a lot of things happen in his life over the last 6 months off the field. But he's just had a way to still stay consistent with his work and preparation. And it's good to see things like that happen. And he was down today, didn't start, came in a big spot, had a big hit for us, obviously, with the base hit to right field, 2 outs, and then off Stammen, and then hit the homer late. And he's just been fantastic. Huge, huge, huge for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead, Ken.
Dave, Ríos and Beatty both got hit and came out of games. Are they okay?
Beatty came out after he was hit after that last at bat, and I just wanted to clear that spot to then get Mookie out there to play some defense and kind of rearrange the defensive configuration. He's fine. Eddie took a breaking ball from Lamet off the big toe, and so X-ray negative. We drained the nail, so it bled out, and he'll be fine tomorrow.
Thank you.
You got it.
Next question's from Eric Steven. Go ahead, Eric.
Dave, excuse me, with Pedro and Kenley tonight, before tonight, most guys, when they were either pitching multiple innings or 20 pitches, you held them out for a couple of days. Was that by design early in the season, or did it just work out that way, the way it sort of played out?
More by design. That's more of understanding that it was a quicker ramp up, and so you really want to take care of guys' health. And I think historically, pitchers, when they do get hurt, it's in the first few weeks of a season, and so we just want to do everything we can to guard against injury for them. And so I think that with that, Pedro, we got the off day coming on Thursday, so I could see him down tomorrow and get a couple of days to be ready for Friday.
Thank you.
Next question from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead, Kerry.
Dave, Dustin's just one of those pitchers that you just go, wow, when you watch him. He's got that wow factor. But what's it going to take for him to be that guy that stays in the rotation and is an impact guy every fifth day?
Well, he's making a case right now. We always talked about the depth of the starting staff, and we unfortunately, Woody went down. He'll be back. Dustin is making his claim, and that's a good thing. He's stepping up when given the opportunity. So it's nice to see him get 2 starts with a starter routine, and he'll have an extra day for his next turn. But we got a long way to go. We'll see what happens.
Next question's from Kyle Glaser. Go ahead, Kyle.
Dave, JT was obviously not happy after being drilled there in that 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Lamet. From your vantage point, did you guys interpret that as intentional?
You don't want to assume anything, but I will say this is that there was a little back and forth yesterday with Tatis that I thought was very benign. JT does stand on the dish, but it's a 2-out situation, nobody on base, and Lamet had really good command, and so to kind of lose one like he did, I'm not going to sit here and say it was intentional, but certainly noted.
From that, you guys kind of jumped Bellinger and Seager with the hits afterward. Did you perceive that to fire your guys up at all?
I just think, I don't know if it was a wake-up call, but it certainly could have been. I just don't believe that, in baseball, to get fired up, translates to hits, but I think it honed our focus a little bit more.
Thank you.
Got a question from Michael Duarte. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Doc. I asked you last Sunday against San Francisco against this right-handed submarine guy why you didn't go to the left-handed bats off the bench. Tonight against the left-handed submarine guy in Hill, you go with Pollock and he delivers. So just following up with the decisions that you make in there, what made you go with that? And obviously it paid off for you.
I think certainly the score matters. And I just think that score, I think that Rogers is just traditionally throughout the minor leagues and the big leagues, it's a different pitch mix, and it's not really the slider. It's really underneath, and, actually righties hit him better. And this guy, the lefty Hill, righties hit him better. So it's just kind of, you look at your eye, and then you also look at what the guy has historically done, and that was my decision.
Thanks, Doc. AJ Pollock's now available. First question from Kyle Glaser. Go ahead.
AJ, just watching a young guy like Dustin May, seeing the stuff he has and what he can do, just what are your thoughts on what it's like watching him?
Yeah, I mean, I got a good vantage point in the stands today, and it was pretty nasty. He threw a couple pitches. I think Machado, the one he struck him out on, was just filthy. He's gaining a lot of confidence, and obviously, when you watch his stuff, he's pretty electric. So it's fun watching him go out there and just get better and better. So we're going to be counting on him for sure.
Yeah, seeing a 22-year-old with a sinker up to 100 and cutters averaging 95, it seems like it's pretty astounding stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You don't get much better than that for just pure stuff. I think he's he had it last year too. I think this year he's just he's just throwing with a lot more confidence. And he's consistently just repeating his pitches, and he puts a lot of pressure on that other team for sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
First of all, AJ, how's Maddi doing? And secondly, how are you getting off to this hot start when you've had so much going on off the field?
Yeah, thank you. Maddi's doing great. Yesterday was the first day that we had her sleeping next to our bed. We had some help the first couple nights, and then she came out here with Kate, and I didn't sleep too much. It was pretty rough, but it was it's nice having her at the house, and hopefully she just gets better with her sleep. But I don't know. I think I just show up at the ballpark and get my work, and it's not a good day, you just kind of flush it. It's simple, and it's obviously for me it's not that easy to do. You have a bad game and you're thinking about it a little bit. And in this situation, I leave it on the field, and then I go home and enjoy being with my wife and my daughter. So it's kind of it's been a little eye-opening for me, kind of just playing just free and easy. And I don't know, I can't explain it. It's obviously it's only been 11 games, but so far so good.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
Next question from Harry Castillo.
Hey, AJ, how much is it just avoiding that fluky injury that always seems to flare up and bother you? I mean, last year the elbow thing, and then the other sort of fluky stuff. I mean, how much is it just about just staying healthy and staying on the field for you?
Yeah, injuries are tough. It's part of the game, and definitely, you want to be healthy. You want to be out there. You want to be able to contribute every day. And baseball, you just get in this rhythm. You get to the field, you get your routines, you play, and when you get injured, everyone else stays in this rhythm, and then you kind of are thrown out of the rhythm. So you try to get better if you have to, be injured and you have to rehab. You try to get better at that, but obviously, if you can stay on the field and and stay in the flow, it's much easier for sure.
Just the situation with Maddi and your last 5 or 6 months, does that change your perspective on the game and how you approach it? You mentioned being free and easy. Is it change anything at all?
I think so. I'm learning a lot now. Baseball's been my life. It's been my life for so long, and it's always going to be a huge part of who I am. But this has just kind of taught me, look, I put a lot of work into baseball, and I think there's a point where you're just kind of overdoing it. So maybe it's a eye opener just to put in your work and then go home and enjoy being at home. So I've tried to do that, but obviously it's not as easy as just the words there. I think it's just kind of has forced me into just I have to go home. I have to help Kate out because she is very overwhelmed, dealing with her, a newborn the whole day and a preemie newborn the whole day. So I have to turn that switch off. I have to flip that switch off and be a dad at home. So yeah, I think it's been eye-opening for me for sure.
And just to clarify, Maddi was with you guys here in San Diego, or
Yeah, Kate drove out here, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Next question is from Jeff Saunders. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, AJ, you've been in the division a long time. I'm wondering, playing so much in the division this year, do you notice an uptick in intensity even this early in the season?
Yeah, I do. The Padres, kind of seen them build for a couple of years now. They got a good squad over there. They got a lot of good arms. I think they've had a pretty solid lineup, and I think they've added some pieces to that. It makes a lot of sense. Who's in their lineup now. They have tough outs throughout that whole order, and then they added some couple good pieces to their rotation, and then that bullpen too. So I think they've done a really good job. I think we'll have some pretty tight battles with them moving forward for sure. And then obviously the linebacks are always scrappy. I know them really well. They're always going to grind, and we haven't seen the Rockies yet, but yeah, the Rockies seem like they're playing some good baseball too.
Is it harder to get up for these games though with no fans? Do you have to kind of create in the dugout yourself?
I think the first series against the Giants was a little odd, just because it's just so new. And I think right now everyone's just locked in and playing. So it's not. Yeah, the fans are great. The fans are, when you have a big hit, you hit a home run, and it's amazing. You hear the fans, or if you're on the road, you hear the fans go quiet. It's awesome. The fans are amazing, but this is what we're dealt with, and I think at this point, I can't speak for everyone, but I think at this point we're, it's not really an issue anymore. We're just, worried about going out there and playing a good baseball game.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Last question. Go ahead, Brooks.
Hey, AJ, during that big at bat during the seventh inning, there was a few, we'll call them questionable calls on the outside part of the plate. Just wondering how that changes your approach at the plate, if at all.
Yeah, I haven't really been back and looked at it. It felt, they felt a little tough, but yeah, it's you don't really, as a hitter, you don't face guys like that too often. And as an umpire, you don't really see the guy throwing like that with that kind of movement, from that angle too often. So it's tough on them too. Yeah, I just was trying not to change too much. I really wanted to just stay short, honestly, just try not to hit at that Cronenworth guy. Because making plays all over the field. So I was just trying to hit a line drive up the middle, kind of not try to do too much. And yeah, it worked out. I got a pitch to handle, and for sure. It's part of the game. It's tough. It's tough being an umpire. Sometimes it's tough when you don't get those calls, but sometimes you let it really affect your game, and sometimes you do a better job. I felt like I did a pretty good job of just kind of gathering myself and keep moving forward.
Thank you, AJ.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
All right. Thanks, guys.